So everybody see my screen, all right? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Cool,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Awesome. And so today, guys, I just wanted to start off with, this is not just the Homeshow Houdini, all right? This method can be used for a lot of different purposes, okay? So regardless of whether you've got work coming up or not, you need to be doing this. Regardless of whether you've got a website or not, you need to be doing this. Whether you're in isolation or not, this is something you need to get up, all right? So I've added an extra bonus section to the end of this. I've been working on it the last little part of this morning. Okay, so I chucked a bonus at the end, which is actually the self-isolation bonus module. Okay, so highly applicable to where we are now, guys, and you can use this in various different forms. So everybody, give me a hell yeah in the chat box if there's something you've been meaning to get around to, want to do, need to do marketing, but haven't quite got around to doing it just yet. Awesome. Cool. Corey, Owen, Tina, Robert, Mark, John, rolling in. Yeah, it's such a big pain point for people. Obviously, this online marketing stuff seems very tech and very hard to do. There's actually quite a few easy ways you can do it, which I'm going to run through sort of step by step how to do this strategy right now. So let's jump straight into the Homeshow Houdini. So how to actually attend your local home show without actually attending. All right, so just wrap your head around that. And what we're going to do is still get a list of prospects wanting to work with you. So if any of you guys have actually been to a home show and done the whole setup, you know there's a lot of work involved. There's money you've got to pay to be there. You know, my wife used to work at a retailing shop, and they paid something like 15 grand for a booth at the Auckland Home Show. So just to brief you quickly, there's no spending money on the actual event itself. So yeah, really cool backdoor strategy that we can, or loophole that we can go through. So what happens if you get this right? Okay, so you don't actually have to pay for a booth. Money to be saved there, right, guys? And you know, money saved is going to then go back into our marketing, so we can make this machine bigger and bigger and get more leads from it. There's no equipment or stand to set up. So just an example on the right-hand side here. I imagine that these guys, I don't know who they are, just grabbed it off Google, right? So this stand here, I imagine, costs a bit of money to put together. And then after they finish with it, what do? You got to go store it somewhere. You've got to spend a handful of hours setting it up, pulling it back down, transporting it, right? So there's going to be no equipment to set up and or make or store or anything like that. So really helpful not having to lug that crap around. You also don't have to take 3 to 5 days out of the business, right? So there's obviously that setup period, the breakdown period. You don't have to take a couple of guys with you to stand at a booth for however long, 10 or 12 hours a day over the weekend. Yeah, we've got Paul Kelly saying, yeah, some of these things are 12K minimum, right? So plus your hours, you know, plus everything else that goes into it can add up to be quite expensive, right? So if you get this right, you're also going to still get the leads that you would have got from the home show as well, right? So we're going to save a lot of money, a lot of time, but we're still going to generate the positive deal flow from it, right? So really helpful. So here's just a quick overview of how this works, okay? And if you guys have ever gone through the geofence training, this is a very similar strategy to that, okay? So what we're going to do in short is we're going to have a simple Facebook ad, right? And we've got a couple of options that we can do with this. Ideally, we'd have a video ad, which I can show you an example of as well. Or if you really don't want to get on camera, then we can do a photo ad as well. And then what we're going to do, this is the tricky part on the right-hand side, is we're actually going to pinpoint the location of the event and exclude the surrounding areas. So if you can see, that image there shows a really tight targeting area that we can show an ad to. Basically everyone in this example is in the ASB showgrounds in Auckland. So I'm sure they can get sort of anywhere from 10 to 60,000 people in this one expo at one time, right? People are still on their phones, so that's where we're going to take full advantage. And we're going to use the location targeting that Facebook has to take full advantage of the attendees that are at the show. So super targeted traffic. People are actually interested in home renovations and home expo stuff. And we're going to put our ad in front of them and show it to as many of those people as possible. All right? But very simple. So the first thing we want to do, right, is prime our Facebook page. So if we take a look on the left-hand side, this is just a basic Facebook page, right? Facebook business page.
Very advanced Facebook business page.
Exactly. So the reason I've got this on here is that I've been to a few of your Facebook pages, and it is all appearances, right? So You can have smoke and mirrors on the internet. It works really, really well, okay? On the left-hand side, there's nothing on the page. You come here and you look at it and you go, well, that's very unprofessional. I'm going to disappear. You look at the right-hand side. This is Marty's LinkedIn profile. I just thought it was a good example of the image at the top here. We've got an authority shot of him actually, up on stage. So that works as an authority shot. And on the right-hand side, we've got a sort of tagline there, helping great builders build great businesses. So instantly people know what we do and how we can help. And then we've got a small thing here, message me and download the Builders Ladder roadmap to systemize your building company. So there's our little lead gen or ebook or magnet that you can use. Okay, so an example of how that's done in one respect. Another example is SLC Builders. We've got a photo of the two owners there, Corey and Nikki, in the little profile photo. And then we've got also on their Facebook banner image on the right-hand side, we've got a picture of the guy doing some work with the professionally branded gear on the back. Now, if they were to go one step further, they would also chuck a picture of their ebook on there as well, or some other tagline in there that says what they do and how they can help and how people can take action, okay? So this is a completely optional step. You don't have to do this for the strategy, but it's going to really, really help set you up, make you look a lot more professional so that when people do see your ad and they come and check you out, because people are curious, they're always going to come and check you out and read more, okay? They're going to come to your page and see, well, these guys are pretty professional. So really important to at least have a few of the basics in there on your Facebook page. You can use a tool like canva.com, upload a photo to Canva that you've taken on site, or maybe it's a photo of the team, and then drag and drop a picture of an ebook, or even just chuck some text on there about something that can be really, really valuable to them that you can help them with. Okay, so really, really easy here. We just want to prime our profile page because people are curious and they're going to come check us out. Again, don't let that limit you though. We don't have to do this step. You can always loop back around to it. The second part of priming our profile or our business page is that we want to have some posts up, right? So if you go to someone's Facebook page and they've got their last post was done in 2010, then you go, oh, well, why should I get in touch with them? It doesn't really look like they take this stuff seriously. So we've got a full guide here called the Social Media Playbook, which is available on the members area under the TPB magazine section, I believe. So this has got hundreds and hundreds of examples of what you can post, and you can basically copy and paste a lot of this stuff. Obviously make it your own, don't directly rip anything off, but take the inspiration from it and get a few posts up on your page. Don't make it hard again. Don't have to do any fancy videos like Irving Builders have done here. Just thought it was a great example. Got 4 letters on Keaton Building, TEAM, and a couple of photos of them being at the House Awards, okay? So just getting a little bit of content on your page that's recent and relevant so that if people do come and check you out, they know that you're a real business and you take this stuff seriously, okay? Cool, so that's the optional stuff out the way. We'll get into it. The first thing we want to do is obviously identify the industry events that we're going to quote unquote attend, all right? So really easy, and you all know where they are in your location probably, but you can use sites like Eventbrite, Event Finder. You could just Google Homeshow events. And the key thing that we're trying to do here is get the address of the event and the dates that it's going to be run on, okay? And those 2 bits of information are going to help us with actually running the ad and setting it up now so that I don't care whether it's in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months time. If you can set up the ad tomorrow and then let it be approved and let it run over that period, you're all done. It's going to run for you, okay? So once we've got a list of the home shows that we're going to attend, I know that there's one on the North Shore here, there's the big Auckland one, so there's a truckload of different expos and events that will probably be in your area, and you want to make a list of all of those events with the address and the dates that they're going to be run on, okay? The next thing we want to do, now that we've got the list of those events, is we actually want to draft out our ad, okay? So first thing I would say is don't get caught up in jumping on the ads manager or anything like that, or don't get on Facebook because you'll just get distracted and start watching cat videos. Open up a Word doc and make it really, really simple. Type out an ad. Again, I've got an example for you on the right-hand side here that I'll give you. You can, again, you can copy and paste this and make it your own. And then have a think of some images. So gather together a few images that you can use for the ad. Ideally, we'd use a video. Okay, and we've got a really good video here from Matt Moore. This is just one that he ran through really quickly on his Facebook page about their guarantee, and he was on site and he walked through it through the site a little bit. Talking on camera. So I'm sure he talked about 80 different takes of that because none of you guys are very confident on camera. I'm not that confident on camera. Marty's still not confident sometimes. So again, don't get caught up on, trying to be awesome and trying to be a celebrity on TV, but just shoot a quick selfie thing on your phone. And if you really want to get high tech, you can go down to the local event area. So if you've got the event that's coming up at Auckland, the Auckland, what is it, ASB Showgrounds, you can actually go down there, stand outside the front gate where the big sign is behind you that says Showgrounds, and you can say, hey, Cameron here from XYZ Construction. We're down here at the Auckland Home Show, blah, blah, and you can start actually running your video in like that. Again, you're attending without actually attending, right? You might have shot this video 6 months before. You can use it next year as well. And then you can run into the offer you're going to make and some of the benefits of how you can help. So one little trick you can do is that one there. I'll bring up another example of a video at the end here, which is an example of a director's video, which works really well by Seeker Homes. Okay, just so you guys get the understanding of how this all works. So if you are going to use photos, you want to use things like a photo of your team. Maybe it's the team working on site. Maybe it's you in front of the sign-written van. So you can also use like before and afters of building sites. You know, you can chuck more than one image in there. The whole point of this is that we're going to stop the scroll and we're going to grab people's attention. We do that in a couple of ways. The first one is with the headline in capitals: Auckland Home Show, looking to renovate. So if somebody's attending the Auckland Home Show and they're on Facebook, they're going to see that and they're going to stop regardless of whether they're looking at, you know, a new spa pool or whether they're looking at building a new home, okay, because it's highly relevant to them. All right, we'll get into the rest of the text in a second. So we want to use sort of relevant scroll stopping images, and then the copy is going to do the rest. But ideally we use a video, okay, but we've got this option in this template here for you. The next thing is that we're going to get to the text side of things. I've got a small template here you can work from. You can use as a base, okay? But the first thing we want to do is call out your event or your audience. So like I just said before, it starts off straight away with Auckland Home Show, a couple of emojis. So if you're scrolling, you can definitely see that little block there in capitals. And like I was saying, if somebody is attending that home show or even looking to attend, right, they're going to see that and they're going to stop and go, oh, that's me, okay? And then what we're going to do is start off with pains and frustrations. So the way I've got this here is Auckland Home Show, looking to renovate, question mark. So we're picking up everyone who's at the home show, and then we're excluding the people who aren't interested by saying, are you looking to renovate? Obviously, if somebody's looking to build new, then that's going to cut them out, okay? Because you might only be doing the renovations or remodels. Then the next thing we're going to do is start with pains or frustrations of your ideal customer. And I'm sure you all know what they are. You just probably haven't written them down yet. So for instance, if you're in the renovation space, you know, are the kids spending too much time in the shower and one bathroom isn't enough? You know, they want to put a second bathroom in the house. Maybe they want to extend and chuck it in there, okay? Maybe you have a new addition to the family and that garage space would make a perfect new bedroom. Again, extensions, renovations, that type of market, that's what some of their pain points might be. So we want to just start off with a couple of those pain points. And what this is doing is drawing the people in who are interested in what you have to offer. So if somebody is looking to renovate, some of these pain points are really going to resonate with them and they're going to go, oh, shoot, that's me. That's basically singing my song, okay? Then what we want to do is make an offer. So this is a really quick and easy ad. The next one is make an offer. As a home show special, we're offering a free Dreams to Reality session valued at $495 to talk you through and plan your project. So a couple of things there. Home show special, highly relevant to home show attendees. Makes sense as to why you're doing a free Dreams to Reality session, okay? And then we put valued at $495, put a value against it because, you know, it makes people want it even more. And then just sort of explaining what it is to talk through and plan your project. You can spice this up a bit more if you want, okay? This is just something I threw together in 10 minutes. The next part of it is to say how to take up the offer. So there's no point in saying what your offer is unless you're going to say how to actually take that offer up, okay, and claim it for yourself. So message us now to reserve your spot or shoot us a quick question and I'll be happy to help. Now, when you set up this ad, we're going to be doing a messenger ad because you don't have to have a website to do this. So down the bottom of the ad, I'm sure you've seen them before. They've got the little buttons, okay, and you can have them say learn more, you can have them say download now. This one here, we're going to use send message. So if somebody can hit that there, or they can come to your page and check you out and then message you, but you're basically saying, this is how you're going to claim that offer, or this is how you're going to get in touch. They'll hit that message and they'll start a direct conversation with you. You then know that you've got a lead who has, hit these pain points, is looking to renovate, and you can start a dialogue with them, because the new currency is conversions, is conversations, sorry. The more conversations you can have with people, the more deal flow you can get, and the more jobs you can get out of it, right? And then after you've stated how to take up the offer, you can then follow up with how you can help and the benefits to them, all right? Now, don't get caught up in saying features, because nobody cares about you, but they care about themselves. So they want to know what the benefit is for them. So you might talk about, we use full project management software so that you can always see where your build is at. Maybe you're saying about, we do 2-story extensions so that X, Y, Z, or talk about your guarantee. Just anything in there that makes you guys different, that is going to resonate with them and help them on their journey, okay? So the messenger button will show on the ad, people will click through and be able to send you a message, and that's the basics of it. So really, really quick and easy way to set this up. When you go to Facebook's ad manager, we've got 2 options, right? On the left-hand side, if you're sending them to a website, you can use this option here, which is reach. And the benefit of that is the reach is going to cover that area that you target, just blanket cover it, right? So the objective of a reach campaign is that it shows your ad to as many people as possible. So if there's 40,000 people within the event center that you've targeted, it's going to try and show that ad to every single person as much as possible, all right? And we're just going to blanket the area, which is the whole purpose of this thing. It's a short time frame. It's not something that we're going to run for 2 years. It's something that we're going to run for like 2 to 5 days. And if you send them to a website, you use this campaign, okay? And the reason I've got the 2 options on here is some of you have got really, really killer websites that are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So I go that route. People can then see who you are, read about what you guys do, check out some of the examples that you've got, and then download your ebook or get in touch that way. If you don't have a website, then you can go through the Facebook messages option here, or objective. Now what this is going to do is going to prioritize people who are going to want to get in touch with you and who are most likely to click that message button, okay, and start the dialogue. So like I was saying earlier, you've got no excuse not to get this thing up, because if you don't have a website, you can still get this up right now. Here's how we're going to set up the targeting, okay? So with targeting, you can set up local areas. You can set up people that have been to your website before. You can just do the whole country, and you can select different interests that people might be into. But for this objective, what we're going to do is use that targeting I showed you earlier, and we're going to type in the address on the locations area here. You can type in the address of the event, which is then going to drop a pin on the map. Okay, so that's our event center right in the middle. Then what we do is we click the drop down where it says 1 kilometer, and it normally says about 40 kilometers, and you want to drop that down as low as it can go, which is 1 kilometer. Now, if you actually look closer on the map here, on the left-hand side, we can see that where the red is excluding the areas around it. So across the road from the event center is actually a hospital. So we don't want to be showing our ad to people that are in the hospital. And likewise, we don't want to show it to any of the surrounding shops or cafes around here or anything like that. For no other reason than we want to spend all our money in this very specific location. So then what we do is on the right-hand side here where it says include, we click that button, it says exclude. And then what we do is we use the pin drop button down the right-hand side here, and we click in 4 different places around our location. And what that does is it really, really narrows down the location. So instead of being a 1 kilometer radius, it's probably something like 500 meters. It's a really, really, really small location that we're going to target. Make sense, guys? Nice and easy. Perfect. You can do other things just on that. The other targeting things, just so you don't get lost, there's age range, which you want to post in there as well. You don't want to be showing your ad to people who are 13. You don't want to be showing it to people who are 75 unless you're doing retirement villages. So you obviously know who your ideal clients are. If you're doing the renovation market, it might be that you've got the the 25 to 45 range, or you're doing brand new builds. You might have a different market between high-end renovations, and you might have lower end, new Kiwi build, sort of new build people who are going to use the Kiwi Saver, that type of thing. So really chuck in the age range that you guys know it's going to be, right? Scott Todd, Cam, this is gold. You're a legend. Nicholas Ralph, great idea. No worries, no worries. We'll keep going. So there are a couple of options in here, guys, but don't get too concerned about them. The main thing is that we choose male or female, which we don't have to worry about. We can just select all. So we want to target the wife, the husband, whoever's at the show. The main things are this location and the age range. The next thing that we're going to do is set our budget and the start and end date. So typically you don't use a start and end date apart from this method where we're going to target people very specifically when this event is on, right? So we don't want to be targeting the home show while it's on and then letting the ad run for another 2 weeks because there might be a nudist convention the next week. We don't want to be rounding those guys up in our ads, right? So that's why we set the date range in there for the dates of the expos that we got at the start. With the budget, you can chuck something in there like $200. Even for that, you're winning, not having to pay 12K for the actual stand. But I doubt you'll even spend $200 over those few days because of the targeting is so narrow. Okay, we're not targeting 4 million people in Auckland. We're targeting like the very specific people in this room, in this small area with our ad. So it'll struggle to spend $200. You'll probably end up spending maybe 100, something like that. But the idea is that when you set lifetime budget, instead of you can do a daily budget or a lifetime. When you put lifetime, Facebook knows that you've only got that budget to spend between these dates, okay? So it's going to say, cool, over these 2 days, I need to spend the whole budget. And that's what Facebook is going to think. And then Facebook's going to go and just really crank up the volume and just pump your ad out to every single person in the event. Marty, you've got a question?
Not me per se, but Mark Taylor, Robert Ferguson, Stephen Peacock have some questions. I just wonder if you could address those now, please.
Yeah, sure thing. Robert Ferguson, thinking outside the box, could you use this in traffic jam hotspots who stay in certain areas on their way home or stuck in traffic? Absolutely, dude. This works really well. So I'm not condoning that because people shouldn't be using their phones in the car. But to give you another example, you can hire your new apprentice by using the exact same method here, changing the ad to say, would you like to be an apprentice at an award-winning company? And you can actually target the local polytechnic or the local tech place where people do like a pre-trade course. Or you can target some top-tier schools like Westlake or you know, some of these schools where you might want to get a high-quality candidate out of, and you can put ads over the school, all right, to entice them to become an apprentice. So you can use it for lots of different
or a BCITO meetup or conference.
Exactly. Plenty of different options. So you could also target things like your local placemakers, your local Bunnings. So lots and lots of different ways you can use this. Obviously, it just takes the time to set up the address. What's the TPP address? I love it.
I'll just jump in there as well, Cam. You can also use this. Some of our members who have a lot of out-of-towners that maybe doing holiday homes and things. I know members who target specific suburbs. For example, Omaha, or if a holiday town gets really busy over Christmas and New Year's, they're just running their ad online over Christmas and New Year's for a particular holiday.
Yeah, it's all about who your audience is, and yeah, that's a really great one if you guys are doing luxury beachside apartments and things like that, or luxury batches or anything like that. Then you obviously don't want to target the area that the batch is in, because that's not, most of the time, obviously not, they're not going to build there. You want to target the high income earners in places like St. Heliers, Mission Bay, that type of area.
I see what you did there, Cam. That was good.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah, that was nice.
But you want to target the people in the city who work in the central city, who have the money, who want to buy an investment property or a batch or or build in a different location. Okay, so you obviously know who your audience is and what their sort of, if you think about the last 10 people you've dealt with, what their situations were job-wise and where they built and that type of thing. Stephen Peacock also says, would it be worth targeting local supermarkets at the moment with the lines outside? Absolutely, dude. If you're in a business that does online shopping, I'd target the supermarkets for sure and say, avoid coronavirus and shop online. I'll deliver it to your door. I think for this certain tactic, it works best when you have like a targeted group of people. So you could probably get away with a better tactic than just people who are stuck in lines. Okay, so the reason we're doing the expo is because they're highly relevant people.
So Cam, when the coronavirus, when we come out of lockdown, would it be worth things like local organic or local farmers markets on a Saturday morning for high-end areas like in Auckland, like Parnell, Kumu Market, etc., whereby you've probably got 1,000 to 2,000 people of high net worth that go there. And if you particularly build in that suburb,
Yep.
any local gatherings like that?
Yeah, totally. And I'll touch on that in a minute. I've got another screenshot that will show the button that you need to check. Basically, when you do the location targeting, where we did back here, you can actually see the location says everyone in this location. So there's a few drop downs here, and you can change this to be someone who has traveled to this location recently. You can change it to be people in this who live in this location. So there's a lot of different options you can choose from. And obviously for those areas, you can target people who live in a wealthy area are going to obviously be, have the money. People who travel to that area are also probably going to be in those high net worth customers. But likewise, you wouldn't target the Otara markets, people going in and out of there, right? So again, it just comes down to who your market is, right? If you're looking for the high-end clients, if you're looking for, average Joe who's just going to do some renovations, then that's where you can really fine-tune the targeting. So the next thing here, guys, we've got our Word doc with all the images, and we've got the text that we've already typed up. Just one key thing with the text is chuck emojis in there, okay? Don't get too carried away because Facebook doesn't like being blanketed with emojis, but just a couple here and there, and use like a tick box or a pointing finger for any key points, just makes it stand out. So all you need to do is upload your video or your images on this next tab, and copy and paste the text that you've done already. And it'll say, basically, if you've done the messenger objective, it'll say basically that the only thing people can do is click message me now. Or if you've done the website objective, you'll just need to put your website address in there, okay? The two different options. And that's basically it. Then you just hit publish. So really, really straightforward. You guys have got no excuse not to get this up. So the next things we want to do after that is start collecting the leads and having the conversations. So we've got a script that you guys can use for those conversations, right? So again, have the conversations with people, get on the phone with them, or start off with chatting with them on Messenger and find out a bit more about their circumstances. You might do something like our smart members have done and actually set up a web form where people can go through the qualifying questions, or you can just ask those qualifying questions to start with. The one thing I would say with that is don't hit them with that straight off the bat. Start off a couple of start off with a little bit of dialogue so that you're actually a real person. You're not just saying, hey, fill out my form or I won't talk to you, right? So find out a bit more about where they are, what they want to do, and then go, hey, just so we can kick off our call best, would you mind filling out a few questions so we can hit the ground running? And then you can have that link to a form that they can go through the qualifying checklist, or you can just ask them the questions yourself, right? Make sure you book in a follow-up with them. So again, guys, it's just about most of these people who are finding you on social media, they're not actively searching for someone to build their new home. What they're doing is getting disrupted by you putting an ad in front of their face, them saying, hey, that's something I'm really interested in. And so they're getting in touch. What you want to do is start off the conversation as soon as possible. So within 24 hours, ideally within sort of 4 hours, have that conversation, find out whether they're a good lead or not, and then book a follow-up time with them. Hey, John, so we can get the ball rolling, or so I can help you best, why don't we book in a call for tomorrow at 12 or Thursday at 4 p.m. Which one of those works better for you? All right, booking in those clear next steps so that they don't go cold. You can keep the lead progressing through the progress. And then the last thing you're going to do is repurpose that ad to cover your local area. So obviously we've got a bit of a problem now where people can't leave the house. Home shows are being cancelled. So this whole training is not done in vain. We're going to move on to the next bit. Would it be helpful if we had a self-isolation ad that we could get up in the next couple of hours and start generating some leads? Give me a hell yeah in the box, or give me a yeah, or a leads, or anything. Cool. Peter, Scott, Ruben, Jason, Simon. Awesome. George, Nick, Martin, Mel. Cool, awesome. All right, we'll continue on then. Thought you guys were going to leave me hanging. So I mentioned at the start, I went through and spent a little bit more time on this morning and chucked an extra section at the end here. So this is our bonus, which is the lockdown campaign, right? Again, I'm just giving you guys no excuses not to get started. What we're going to do, that whole training we just went through, okay, we're going to repurpose exactly what we've just done, and we're going to send this to our local area. There's only a couple of changes that we need to make, and I'll walk you through those right now. What we're going to do, because we don't want to be actively promoting too hard to people in this time, right? People are in lockdown, they're bored, they're on their phone, they're using the internet quite a lot, but they're not actively out shopping, right? And some people might be, but you know, they're looking for entertainment and that kind of thing as well. And they might have a few questions on their mind. So what we're going to do with this one is use the messenger campaign. So at the start, I said you could use 2 different versions, one for the website and one for the messenger. What we're going to do is just use the messenger campaign, and we're just going to talk to people. Surprise, surprise. Let's start some conversations. Let's be helpful. You know, let's talk to people about their projects and what they're trying to achieve. What we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of tiny changes to this campaign. We're going to use the same ad that we just came up with. Okay, we're going to change a couple of things. Obviously, we're not going to say as a home show special, right? For the text, we're going to change the headline. Instead of being Auckland Home Show, we're going to call out the lockdown, right? And don't use the words COVID-19 or coronavirus. Use the words lockdown, use the words, are you stuck at home, that type of thing. Because Facebook hasn't done anything yet, but they don't like negativity on the platform. So you don't want to chuck those keywords in there, right? So use things that are vague and around the same topic. So you might use, for example, lockdown in a small house, question mark, looking to renovate. Lockdown day 1, quotation marks, we need a second bathroom, right? Or maybe it's, wish you were locked down in Omaha, wish you were locked down in the Sunshine Coast. We're going to change the messaging at the top, and we're going to call out the group of people, again, that we're trying to target. So changing the headline is the first thing. And then the rest of the ads, pretty much the same, other than as a home show special. We're obviously not going to put that in there, right? You can change this to be, hey, instead of being, we're offering a free drinks reality session as home show special, it might be, we're still, you know, outdoors, our guys are, what should I say here? Our doors aren't shut. We're still open. We still have designers on board who are looking to progress your projects. Get in touch today for a free dreams to reality session. We can have a talk about your plans and what you're trying to achieve. Okay. So in a roundabout way, you're just saying that you guys haven't stopped working, all right? You guys might have stopped working on site, but you'll still want to keep the leads flowing in. You want to keep the lead, you know, the admin side working. So that's all the biggest change we're going to do there, right? The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on your whole location. So for this example, I've gone with the Chris Donnelly Nelson province, and I'm sure he works in a slightly tighter radius than 40 kilometers. But I mean, there's probably only about 10 people in Nelson anyway, so we got to go wide with that one. Like that.
Cam, remember, be a better person. 20.
Sorry, I'll be a better person. There's probably 15 people in Nelson. That's all right. So what we're going to do, guys, instead of using the location of the home show, what we're going to do is target your local area, okay? And people living in this location is the options we want to choose. Bring down the radius to an area that you guys work in, okay? So you might do work in Nelson, Blenheim, and a few different local areas. So wherever you're actually doing your work, or where your ideal work is where you want to start targeting with that. And keep the, like in Auckland, it's obviously a highly populated place, so you want to really drop down the radius to be quite tight. You know, if you work north of Auckland, then don't let that radius go over the bridge, okay? So what this is going to do is this is going to show your ad to every single person who's stuck in lockdown at home within the Nelson region or within your region, okay? Think about how effective that is, and especially for people who are staying in the same area, okay? You might have to change it again if you're going to be working with customers who have a, you know, they want to build a batch, might be a slightly different targeting setting. But for everyone who's in this local area, works really, really well to target the local area and start conversations with people. And the same thing is, you know, people hit message, they'll start the conversation with you. Just talk to them, find out what they're trying to do, what they're trying to achieve. You know, you guys are stuck inside for 28 days too. So you might just want to, you know, start working on these leads slowly and just have conversations with people. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope I haven't lost you in the process. It's a pretty straightforward process to go through. All right, I'll chuck in the example ads and maybe just a couple of these slides in the members group so you guys can get started straight away. And then what we'll do is get the full recording done and sent out to you at a later date. So if we've got any questions, feel free to chuck them in the box, guys. Give me a 1 if you can actually do something about it. Give us a 2 if you're not going to do anything about it. Awesome.
Hey, Cam,
Yo.
I have a question for you. So we put a signboard up on every property that we do as a renovation. So could we do a geocoding on that signboard? So if people travel past that signboard and they don't have Facebook activated on their phone at the time, will it still pick up that when they go home and turn it on?
Yeah.
Will it still register that they've gone past and picked up that sign? Because we get lots and lots of leads from signs.
Awesome. Well, let's chuck that on steroids. Let's chuck a picture of your sign with the building, with the house in the background. Okay, so get a photo of that so people know what the place is. Use that as the image. Use the same text, or you can change that text to be whatever you want. Hey, we're working in the area. Then what you can do is basically change the setting here where it says people living in this location. You can change it to people in this area or people who have traveled in this area or something like that. There's a couple of different options you can choose. And what that's going to do is basically pick up on people who have been there, who have gone past it, that type of thing. It's like if you go overseas to Sydney and fly back, it'll know that you've been there, okay? Don't get creeped out. That's just how the way the internet works. But yeah, really, really awesome idea, Andrew. I'd use that for sure.
Thanks, Cam.
No worries. Scott Hadland, how do you set up an independent Facebook page? Really, really straightforward. I'll do that in 1 second and I'll show you. You basically just go into your personal Facebook account, and on the left-hand side, there's a pages button, and you click add a new Facebook page, put your business name in there, and I think there's a training on the membership site that Owen did for how to set up your Facebook page. John McKenzie, this works awesome and doesn't take long to set up, working well for us over the last few days. Awesome, John. Doing well, dude. John and Amy, hey Cam, we did this for our video for our hiring staff. John actually got in front of the camera, worked really, really well, and didn't need trade me, found a great guy. Yeah, absolutely. We just went through the hiring process. It's an absolute nightmare to find good applicants and that type of thing sometimes. So you just, do this as a really great strategy. Chuck a video of yourself on there, talk about why your company's different, why you should work for us, and you'll get people actually apply for the job, that don't go through Seek or don't go through Trade Me or any of those local job sites. And I think you save yourself about $300. Robert Ferguson, could you pinpoint other builders' show homes and also events that they have at their show home and open days? Yeah, absolutely, dude. The one caveat with that is there is a minimum amount of people that you can target with this. So if there's only 10 people going to a show home, on a weekend, it may not pick up all these people, okay? But you could get very creative with this, and yeah, depends how far you want to go with it. You can get photos of the opposition's street or their sign out front, or park your van in front of their show home. I didn't say that out loud, but there's lots of different creative ways you could do that. But I'd say it's probably just more effective to blanket a bigger area with your message, right?
So Cam, rugby games would probably be a good one as well, right? Like if you're in Otago, the Highlanders, Christchurch, the Crusaders, etc., where you got large amounts of people gathering that are your ideal target market and potential employees as well. Yeah, definitely. So I actually haven't done it for us, but a lot of you guys go fishing. So I could target a local area that you guys all go, if there's a big fishing competition on, that'd be great for us to get builders, Yeah, the what is it? The boat show each year in Auckland is huge. Yep. Like I don't think they get like 40, 50,000 people through there. That's right. So when the next boat show's on, you guys check your phone. I'll be posting heaps of ads on there for you. Perfect. Awesome. Chris Donnelly, we geo-fenced our merchants with our hiring ad. Yeah, guys, that's a perfect one there, is use the local merchants, right? So you might have 3 or 4 different merchants. You've got placemakers, Bunnings, Mitre 10, all in your local area. So again, stick to those general local areas, but pinpoint, you can put 3 locations on that map, and you can really highly target those people. Russ said, you'll never know my secret spot. Don't you worry, Russ. Google knows everything, I can probably see. Robert Ferguson, sick of seeing Marty's face on my social media. Sorry, dude, that's my bad. I'll make sure he gets some plastic surgery or something. We can change him up a bit.
Cool. All right, guys, I'll just wait 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes for a couple of questions, and I'll just jump out of here and just go to Facebook. So for that question on how do you set up a Facebook page, go to your Facebook account, okay, and go to the left-hand side here where it says Pages. Hope you guys can still see my screen all right. Give me a thumbs up. Cool. And then what you do is click Create Page, and you just go through the process here, which is really, really straightforward. You know, you're a local business, so you can call it XYZ Construction, and choose a category and just start the process. Really, really straightforward. There's no prerequisites that you need to do, and then just do what I talked about earlier and prime up your profile with a few posts. One last thing I'll show you guys is on the video front. If you guys are running out of ideas or you don't know what to put on video, I can't stress how much video works well. I know that nobody wants to do it, which makes it a perfect advantage for you guys to do it. Here's an example on the membership site. So come to the marketing trainings, and likewise I'll post it in the Facebook group after this, is a director's video. And this is one that Seeker Homes did, and it's got a full script underneath with everything that you need to say, which you can copy and paste and just make it your own, okay? So again, no excuses not to shoot a video, get that thing up as instead of using images. Works really, really well. Too good.